And so we are opening with this audio from La Traviata, the very well-known Liviam Neglieti Calici, also known as the Brindisi from La Traviata, because that is going to be our first episode for August 2024. And the reason why I am sharing this with you is because today's entry is just about that. We are sharing with you what our content is planned for today. And I just noticed that this piece moved for reasons I cannot understand. It was okay centered. Okay, now it is there. So I'm sharing with you the August content for 2024, and that August content 2024. And again, as you just heard, we are starting with the Liviamo Neglieti Calici, or the Brindisi from La Traviata. Katia and I had lots of fun in recording this version. Before I forget, all this I'm talking about, remember that all our content is hosted in Buzzsprout, from where it is distributed to all the major streaming platforms: Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, of course, uh, TuneIn, and dozens of others streaming platforms. This is from where it is shared. So I am referring to that content, since that's the point from which everything is distributed. Also, before I move to the second episode for this August, I wanted to thank people, as we are 82 countries and over 560 cities already listening to the program. So thank you very much for that. And if you feel like it, we will continue with the Brindisi from La Traviata in August, because the last program in July was the Provenza il Mare il Suol. So we are trying to put arias that are part of the same opera. So we had Giorgio Germont, now we have the duet, and unfortunately no other aria from La Traviata made it into this season. Moving on, the following is one that I really enjoyed recording. We will be having Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix from Sassone Dalila by Maestro Camille Saint. It's an extraordinary aria. We will have the opportunity, or I have the opportunity of sharing with you how or from what perspective to think of the role of Dalila in this area, the role it plays in the complete, or I wanted to say opera, but you know that because we have talked about in other seasons that for many Sessone Dalila is not considered an opera, but a different gender. So we are not falling into that discussion. We are just keeping that Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix. This area from Dalila is finally being aired. So make sure that you have already rehearsed your chest notes, because you're going to need them to sing along with us. This Mon cœur s'ouvre ta voix, comme s'ouvrent les fleurs au baiser de l'aurora. And then the very beautiful melody by Maestro Camille Saint-Saëns. But keep moving on, because the third episode that we are having for this month is the very well-known Nessun Dorma. Nessun Dorma. Tuporea principessa, nella tua fredda stanza guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. This character that I don't really like at all, Calaf, you will learn in this dissection episode why. But the Nessun Dorma is, of course, one of the most preferred arias of all times. One part of it has to do with Luciano Pavarotti, who made it a regular in his concerts and recitals. So everybody is aware of Nessun Dorma, one of the most difficult arias for the tenor of the whole because of the whole construction. No other aria from Turandot made it into this season, so that's why it's coming this month. And finally, we are wrapping up with the audio version of the first episode of Spectacular Singing, Mein Herr Marquis, which we already aired on YouTube. Of course, being in video format, it lives, and as I mentioned earlier, our content is mainly streamed through Buzzsprout and to the other streaming platforms, so we are passing only the audio. People in YouTube will notice that besides the video version, you will also have the audio. It is not a mistake. It is just that once it reaches Buzzsprout, it is spread to all the other platforms. Same case for YouTube. So that's why you will notice it. And the reason why we are also keeping it is that many people approached our content because audio content is what works for them. Maybe because they commute and that's what works for them. Maybe because of the high cost of data packages, or maybe the battery of their cell phones. Our episodes take somewhere between 30 and 50 minutes. So 30 or 50 minutes of video consumes lots of battery. So there is a number of reasons why it is worth keeping the audio pieces of our program, our podcast. And finally, a final comment. This month, there is no Centennial program for Maria Callas, mainly because our monthly quota from Buzzsprout could not cover another hour. The final episode for the Callas Centennial program is around an hour, around 5 to 7 minutes of final words and a bonus episode. That's what rounds up to 1 hour, and we don't have the quota for that. That's why for the first time for the past 7 months we are not having a Callas Centennial program in this August. But of course we need to wrap it up before December, because in December is when we need to finish our Centennial programs. So with all that having said, I want to thank everyone for having shared this hopefully attractive content for you, and that it calls your attention, and keep following us for the remaining of the podcast.